Good morning, one and all. A warm and heartfelt welcome to each one of you. We are delighted to have you join us for this special occasion, the soft launch and inaugural webinar of our initiative. Today marks the convergence of knowledge and innovation, where ideas ignite, expertise inspires, and possibilities unfold. I am Sanya Parveen from the Department of Food Science and Nutrition. On behalf of School of Life Sciences, I warmly welcome you to this occasion. It's a proud moment for us to bring together a diverse and distinguished group of professionals, academicians, and students to explore the latest developments and opportunities in the field of life sciences. Before we begin, just a quick note on virtual etiquette. Kindly keep your microphones muted during the sessions unless you're invited to speak. We recommend using speaker view for a better experience. Feel free to post your questions or comments in the chat box, and we'll address them during the appropriate segments. With that, let's officially begin our session. To set the tone for this special occasion, I now invite Dr. A. Swarnalatha, Head Department of Food Science and Nutrition, Nehru Arts and Science College, to deliver the welcome address. Ma'am, please.
Good morning, esteemed dignitaries, respected teachers, and dear students. It's my privilege to deliver the welcome address for today's webinar on Unveiling a New Era in Life Science Education. This event marks a significant step forward in exploring the evolving landscape of life sciences and its impact on future learning and innovation. It's our pleasure to extend a warm welcome to our respected principal, Dr. B. Anirudhan, a leader of wisdom and integrity. His guidance and commitment to academic excellence continue to inspire both faculty and students alike. Sir, we are grateful for your presence and extend our heartfelt welcome to you, sir. We are privileged to welcome Dr. V. Vijayakumar, Principal, Nehru Arts and Science College, whose vision and guidance will play a significant role in shaping our journey in the years ahead. Sir, we are happy to have you with us and we extend a warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
It is with great pride that we welcome our distinguished chief guest, Mr. Bobby Krishna, Senior Food Safety Specialist at Dubai Municipality. His remarkable expertise and international experience in food safety are highly recognized. So your presence here today is a great honor and we eagerly look forward to your insightful address. A warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
We are happy to welcome our special guest, Dr. N. Shani, Principal, Kumaraguru School of Business, Coimbatore. She is a strong woman with integrity and she had made various significant contributions to the field of education. We extend a warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
A special welcome to Mr. Shehin Ibrahim, founder and managing director of FutureX School of Life Sciences, Dubai, and a proud alumnus of our institution. It brings us immense joy to witness your achievements and collaborate with you for this meaningful event. Welcome, Shehin.
Thank you, ma'am.
We also extend a warm welcome to scholars and students from NGA and other various institutions who have joined us today. Your participation adds great value to the discussions we aim to foster in this forum. I welcome Dr. Charanya, Head, Department of Biotechnology, and faculty members from School of Life Sciences and other institutions. Your dedication and efforts have made this event possible. Let us look forward to a day filled with meaningful learning and collaboration as we explore the future of life science education together. I once again welcome you all for this virtual meet. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for that warm and thoughtful welcome. Next, we are honored to hear from a visionary leader in education and technology, someone who believes in transforming learning through innovation. Please welcome Mr. Shehin Ibrahim, founder and managing director of FutureX Global Learning UAE, to deliver the presidential address. Sir, please.
To all the guests, educators, scientists, students, and change makers joining us today. from across India, the UAE, and beyond. I welcome you to the soft launch of FutureX School of Life Sciences, a wholly owned subsidiary of FutureX Global Learning UAE. As the founder and managing director, I stand before you with immense pride and even deeper purpose. Because today is not just a launch, it's the spark of a revolution in how we train, shape, and empower the future of life sciences. Let me take back to a moment. Years ago, I was a student walking into microbiology lab for the first time. Curious, a little nervous, and like many others, filled with questions about my future. Will I ever be confident in my field? Can I make an impact beyond a degree? Will I ever be ready for a global stage? Today, FutureX is my answer to those questions. And maybe it will be yours too. FutureX is more than just a training center. It is a movement that says you deserve more than outdated syllabi, you deserve more than passive learning, you deserve training that matches the speed of science and the scale of your dreams. At FutureX, we bring you hands-on lab experience, real-world projects, international certification support, and a career accelerator module that prepares for both industry and interviews. Whether you're preparing for DHA, HARD, MOH, Prometric, or ACPI, we are with you. From learning to launching your career. Today's launch holds a personal significance. It's in collaboration with Nehru Arts Science College, Coimbatore, my alma mater. This institution shaped my early steps. Today, we return here not to look back, but to leap forward. I thank Nehru Group of Institutions for their visionary leadership and commitment to global education. I deeply honored to welcome Mr. Bobby Krishna, our keynote speaker, whose global work in food safety inspires excellence. Dr. B. Anirudhan, our guest of honor, a mentor to many, including myself. Dr. Shani Janardhanan, our special guest, a strong academic leader who continues to guide and inspire many. Dr. V. Vijaykumar, Dr. N. Sharanya, Dr. A. Swarnalada, thank you for being with us. At FutureX, we dream big, but we start from where we stand. We took root in Dubai and in the UAE, where FutureX was born. And together, we are reaching out to the world. We believe in borderless learning because science knows no boundaries, and neither should talent. In these months, we'll be rolling out integrated certification courses in food safety, lab quality, scientific rating, and more. Along with that, internships and research project support, live session with global mentors like Bobby Krishna, scholarship and career placement guidance, and a fully digital learning platform accessible from anywhere in the world. Let me leave you with this thought. One day, a FutureX student will lead a vaccine breakthrough. One day, a FutureX graduate will address the United Nations. One day, someone in this very room will be the name world will remember. And when that happens, we will say, it started here. It started today. Let's build that future. Be FutureX. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words that truly reflect the spirit of future ready education. Now it's time for the most awaited moment, the formal inauguration of the session. We are delighted to have with us a leader who has been instrumental in building academic excellence at Nehru Arts and Science College. Please join me in welcoming Dr. B. Anirudhan, Principal of our esteemed institution, for the Guest of Honor address. Sir, please.
Good morning, all. At the outset, let me congratulate all who have joined in this platform. And I am delighted to be with all of you. A few days back, there was a discussion, or a call rather, from Mr. Shehin, talking about the opportunities available for life science, health science, and food science students across the world. As he was one among them who have dreamt of a very high profile job and was not able to launch in the beginning to get a job of that sort, not because of his lower status in academic brilliance. He was a rank holder. His academic brilliance was there. Then he understood it is not the academic brilliance that matters. The academic brilliance coupled with measurable skills to compete in the industry was missing. Definitely, any academic institution cannot frame a syllabus which should fit into the global industrial scenario. That could be a rare phenomenon. And he was telling me about the life science students from any college in India would be able to get a job of 30 to 35,000 rupees to begin with because he or she lacks skills. And there are opportunities of global certification. With that, you move into the industry, you will get easily 1 to 1.5 lakhs, up to 2.5 lakhs in different countries. Just plug and play kind of certification, skilling, scaling up the caliber of each student, a very specialized outlook towards research and industry connect. All these things, when Mr. Shehin was telling me, I was really excited. Why not be? He was telling me, I'm going to start this in Cochin, Bangalore, and Dubai together. Advise me as to how we can take forward this initiative. Then I was telling him, it's always better to start with an institution, your alma mater, where you had this difficulty and you have come out of that. Now, in a few years, he was able to transform himself from a 30 to 35,000 rupees job he has started with. Now he is earning more than 10 lakh rupees per month. If that can transform him in a very, very few years, 3 to 4 years time, just because he was able to get skilled up, just he was able to get certified from international certification bodies, see, that could be done for everybody. And I personally feel the children who do their undergraduate and postgraduate in health sciences, spending a lot of time in laboratories, not really enjoying the college and university life. They're always under microscopes and within the four walls of the laboratories and strict guidance of the teachers. So neither they enjoy the college life nor they get a job that they aspire for. So now lot of opportunities are there for the computational science people, because all the top-notch industries in this world, be it IBM, be it Infosys, be it L&T, they all come to the college to train the students on full stack. But when it took at life science, it is zero. No companies are coming to the campuses to train the children on life sciences. Even commerce and management people are coming. IITs and IIMs are coming for commerce and management. But life science, I felt no one is coming because the expertise are very limited. But on the other side, you look at the opportunities worldwide, it's so huge. So I request the children and the teachers to identify such opportunities and train the children. Let the children start their dream career with minimum 1 lakh rupees a month. In 5 years, they'll grow like Mr. Shehin, Ibrahim, and come back to the alma mater and tell that because of this, we were able to flourish in our life. So they can set a new tone today with FutureX. And FutureX, in collaboration with Nehru Group of Institution, will form a perfect blend of academics and industry relationship. And the single focus is transform the mindset and skill set of the students as to how we can make them aspiring a global position in the industry. I am in support of what Mr. Shehin told. Tomorrow, some of you will be addressing in the UN. Some of you will be placed in the World Health Organization. And some of you will truly come back and tell your juniors This is the college where I've learned, I got a lot of inputs, and now I am working in WHO or in any UN or any other place. So the transformation can start from here. I take this opportunity to congratulate Mr. Shehin for this idea, and Dr. Swarnalata, Dr. Sharanya from Nehru Arts and Science College, and my successor, Dr. Vijay Kumar, the principal of Nehru College, Nehru Arts and Science College upcoming, and Dr. Shani Janardhanan, who was my colleague earlier, now heading Kumaraguru School of Business. And my sincere thanks to my CEO and secretary, Dr. P. Krishna Kumar. He was supposed to be here to inaugurate, but because of his preoccupation, he was not able to join. And my best wishes to all my children and students of other colleges who have joined this platform. This would be a life changer for you all. Hence, join all this webinar series. There's 12 webinars coming up in one series, and all are global speakers. And I have a lot of respect for Mr. Bobby Krishna, Senior Food Safety Officer, Specialist, Dubai Municipality, UAE. See, the way you people can guide. I have seen the list of 13 speakers lined up for 1 year. All are from different countries, holding highest positions. They can really give the most important experience sharing to the children, which is a rare commodity today. There are a lot of people to talk about what could happen in computational sciences, the changes, but there are very less people from the industry perspective to talk to the college children as to how they need to be equipped with for fighting the future and settling in their life. My sincere gratitude to all of you once again, and congratulations to all my children who have joined in this platform. Thank you all so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging address. Every great beginning needs a spark of thought leadership, and we have just the right person to ignite that spark. It is my honor to invite Dr. N. Shani Janardhanan, Principal of Kumaraguru School of Business, Coimbatore, to deliver the special address. Ma'am, please.
A very good morning to all distinguished guests and the most respected principal of Nehru Arts and Science College, Anirudhan sir, and the current upcoming principal, Vijay Kumar sir, and all others who have joined. It is truly a honor and privilege for me today to join this platform where I can easily say my child growing into an entrepreneur. It's that kind of a feel I have, because I've been associated with Shehin when he was a student. And as a student, he has shown his humbleness, his gratitude. He was always thankful for what he received. That is one quality that I have seen him. But he was always determined, hardworking. And whenever he take up any new responsibility, he's into that. And today, if he is becoming the founder, managing director of FutureX, it's a real success, a truly embarking journey for any teacher to be proud of. I will always say, I am so proud to say that Shehin has become such a successful entrepreneur. And of course, as an academician, I feel so much overwhelmed that NAAC has given such a wide platform for children to grow, and people are ready to come back to their alma mater with so much of vibrancy and show that, okay, I took my profession from this and I want to give back certain things to the society in which they are associated with. All the stakeholders, for that matter, is really blessed to have such a kind of a platform where alumni has coming back, they are starting a new venture, and they are sharing their professional success with us. And I know as a mentor, Anirudhan sir has mentored a lot of children. And one thing that I would like to highlight here is the leadership and entrepreneurship demands certain daringness. Apart from all the quality that you have, you should be dare enough to jump into a risky venture. That is possible only because of leadership avenues that we give to the children. I appeal to all the children in this platform that the ministry thing which we took in NAAC has given lot of leaders to the society. Probably we started with 9 and later on we ended with 14, 15. So I take this opportunity to really congratulate Shehin. It is his day today. And we are so blessed to be associated with Shehin, and all the best. Let this venture take a very good start, and let there be lot of leaders as you really expect. Many leaders will be turning around and transformed into a global leaders. So I wish all success on this day to Shehin and all who have associated with him and supporting him. Thank you so much for the opportunity given, and special thanks to my mentor Anirudhan sir for being a supportive system to guide the students and be in the system forever. Thank you once again. All the best, Shehin.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your valuable insights. And now for the highlight of this morning, the keynote address. We are truly honored to welcome an internationally renowned expert in food safety, a senior professional whose work has impacted global practices, Mr. Krishna, Senior Food Safety Specialist, Dubai Municipality, UAE, with key initiatives like the Food Watch platform and award winning strategies to enhance food safety and transparency. He has transformed Dubai's food sector through digitalization, risk based approaches, and international collaboration. Let's lend our ears and hearts to his keynote, which promises to be both enlightening and empowering. Sir, please.
Hey, thank you so much, everyone. I'm so excited to join a group of young individuals inspired by what was going on around the world. It's always amazing to talk to students, and it also takes me back to my school days. Shehin was mentioning, his school days and how that shaped his career. I always think about the journey that I've had all across the world, meeting people, exchanging information, and continuing to learn all the time. So what I'm going to do is not talk about my career, but I was just thinking that today I should share with you, what I learned from other people, and how that learning can be used for you to accelerate your kind of discovery. Trying to figure out what's going on around the world, and also trying to see how you want to see yourself in the next 20, 30 years or so. Today, I am marking 20th year in my organization, where I joined as an inspector. And I started off with, doing food safety, as everybody knows, like, inspection, testing, etc. But then 20 years down the line, I do not see food safety inspections. I do not see anything. I look at my computer and phone and run my business completely on these two devices, and then rarely step out. I do definitely go and eat in restaurants and be in manufacturing places, but that's not where I work. I work on my screen, and my keyboards kind of deliver most of my work. So let me go into the topic without further ado. I just want to make sure that you can hear me well. Okay, super. Let me share my screen. So the mission is to take you into the future and see what it holds for you. There might be things that interest you, and the way I want to get you there is to first hear from you as to what you think about food safety. So I'm assuming that you're not driving, sitting in your schools or on your desktop. So what I want to do is hear from you as to what you know about food safety and how do you connect with it. I can see that many of you are from different backgrounds, including biotechnology, and you might be just stepping into the food safety domain from what you hear around your in your school or from media. Just to let me know, scan the QR code or click on the link on the chat window. On the chat, you will see a link that you can access and put the rating. So there are a few fields that you need to select, and let me know what connects with you when you hear the term food safety. Is the link accessible?
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Bec-
I'm just going to give you a minute to kind of look at how the word connects with you. Okay, so I'm going to continue with my mission. So here's what we have as results. So everybody knows food poisoning, and I think 58% of the people have picked up food poisoning. It's a taker. But looking at data science, AI, technology, epidemiology, laboratory designing, and I can see the trend here that you know what risk assessment is, and I'm okay. Nutrition is another buzzword. Zomato. So food poisoning is connected to Zomato. That's nice. Not a very good message, but looks like there's a bit of concern there when you have an ordering platform giving you food safety concerns, or maybe not. Like you're talking about the data part of it, right? So Power BI, dashboard, IoTs, trainings. So I'm gonna pause that survey and then get back to my presentation. So let's look at what we have on the deck of slides. So just to give you a quick glimpse of Dubai, I always say that we have got Philly to flight catering. Philly is a popular chain that's inspired by the tea that came from India, and it's a global brand today. We have the Emirates Flight Catering that produces 250,000 meals a day, and we kind of fly to every country in the world that has got an airport. And then you also have a very diverse food industry in Dubai, which looks at around 26,000 food establishments. And in fact, if you take the smallest businesses into account, we have around 35,000 businesses. We have 350,000 people working in the food industry, directly involved in food production. And then we import around 8 million tons of food. And then, on a daily basis, we do inspections. We've close to 60,000 inspections that we do in a year. And this is just on the field. And then all these things are done to prevent foodborne illnesses. And you all know that we are relying on a global supply chain. We import food from 182 countries. And you wouldn't be surprised that any country, even India, that produces its own food is heavily reliant on imports today. And on an average, any country would be importing foods from at least 100 different countries to, more or less, And then we also have data in front of us from WHO that says that 1 in 10 people fall ill every year, and 33 million healthy life years are lost. And 420,000 people die, out of which like 1/3 is our children, and especially below the age of 5. So these are scary numbers, and this number can be disproportionate, where developing countries contribute far less, and developed countries contribute far less, and developing countries still have to fight typhoid, cholera, hepatitis, and similar infections. And these are also exacerbated by food security concerns, and we don't have food enough. Then we are also forced to drink and consume food that's unsafe. And how do you deal with this traditionally? You do inspections, training, consultations, certifications, licensing processes, education. You create labels, you create food safety management system, and at least some of you would have heard about HACCP or ISO 22000, etc. These are systems that are systematically built to manage food safety in food businesses. But the essence of it is that the primary driver is still the regulatory control, the stick that the government uses on the industry, where people are told to do 1, 2, 3 things and they follow. So it's a regulatory process that drives food safety primarily. And then when you look at it from a technology perspective, we know that most of these regulations are centered around humans. But what's happening in the industry is that we are industrialized heavily. We have commercial process, but the world is also moving towards more mechanization. We are going to see less and less interactions of humans as we go. We're going to see people, like being replaced by machines a lot. And then also these machines contributing heavily with not just mechanical action, but also with intelligence in the future, where machine learning and deep learning models are gonna drive even creative work in that space. So not far is a time when the machines can develop its own recipes based on your interests. So you place an order on Zomato, and it can customize the meal for you based on your interest, basically talking to you, and also reproducing flavors and stuff like that as precise as possible for you. So that's a space that's changing heavily. And you always need to think, like, when robots are producing food, how are you going to ensure food safety, and what's your role as a human being, right? So those thoughts have to be always in your head. And I just think someone is scribbling. Right. So we're also relying heavily on data from sensors. So a lot of these machines, and you would have seen this in your, air conditioning, your phones are getting heavily censored. Not this in censored, but heavily packed with sensors. You can check your temperature. Your watches are getting, increasingly receptive. They're receptive and they transmit data. So anything that can take value and transmit the data into a collective systems are also significantly impacting food and the food business. And we're seeing a heavy shift in, sorry, now mine is coming. Okay. So we are talking about a heavy, heavy movement towards, or heavy shift towards, getting technology-driven systems all across the world. And these are primarily driven by not just small interfaces, which are just temperature sensors, etc. We are able to track products all across the supply chain. And this is happening through shipments. When they depart from the country of origin, you're able to track where the ship is, where the products are, what is the temperature of the product, at what humidity that product is, and what would be the condition when it arrives at the port. And then you can continue to track that until the warehouse. You can see the warehouse temperature. Then you could also see how many inspections have been done on those products, what kind of documents are attached with that product, all through digitalized networks. And this is already happening in many industries. And you always wonder, like, when you have such kind of a data, where does it all go? Who is checking all this data? And what would it mean in the future when you can get all this information on your fingertips, on your mobile phone? How are we going to act, right? So that's exactly what IBM did. And this is not a new thing. IBM did this very early on in 2019 with the traceability program with blockchain, where they could trace the product back to the country of origin in split seconds. And this was a project that was done with Walmart with the IBM blockchain solution. So here, any product that comes in, imagine you pick up an apple that's in your store, in your village, and then you use your mobile phone to scan it, and it tells you that this apple was produced in New Zealand, in a village where a farm is tagged and recognized by a farmer, and it was produced on 1st of January 2024, and then it's already 1 year old, and it was shipped to you by a company in Chennai, and then delivered to you in 3 months, so or in 2 years. So that's a level of detail that you can see, and you can also figure out what are the ingredients in your product. So you take chocolate and you scan it, you see each ingredient, and if you take an ice cream, sometimes you can probably find like 50 different ingredients from 50 different countries. And imagine the level of traceability that you could have with these kind of technologies coming in. And the only reason these technologies have not sunken is that it is still expensive to have that kind of a traceability system. But as technology is getting cheaper and as more devices and more power, the computational power is coming into the systems, you're able to get these data onto your fingertips much more faster. We all are familiar with OpenAI, ChatGPT, Gemini, and a whole lot of tools, and they've also substantially invaded the space that we are working in today. And these are all technology solutions. And I have this question, like, who teaches these machines? How do they learn what to do? How does the robotic hand make sure that a product is cooked properly and then packaged and processed properly and then dispatched to a consumer? How does the sensor-driven data guide a temperature problem? So if the temperature is not met, how does it cook? How does it control cooking? Or how does a system know that it has to deliver the product to you at this temperature of your preference? Or how do you know that? And a simple example is that when you log on to Google, you already see the products that are coming in of interest to you, right? If you go onto YouTube, it is already giving you a list of things that you want to watch. Same applies to Netflix. Your preference of music, your preference of news, your preference of whatever you want to see, and that is nothing but an algorithm at the back end, right? So who creates these algorithms, and how do they learn, and how do they advance? A lot of this goes back to AI, but then there is also a role for humans in training this AI. So if you want a product to be tested and a data to be analyzed, there has to be some model that is created by a human that's then built upon, and then the machine learning or deep learning models take over. And to explain that better, look at what happens in the street. I mean, olden days, there was a traffic policeman standing on the street telling you to move up and down. And then later came the traffic signals. But today, we don't even have to look at the signals. You have applications that tell you where the signals are, where the humps are. And more importantly, Google has been in the market for several years, telling you how to drive and what directions do you need to take. And also, the importance of these kind of tools is not just that you will hit the signal, but it will also tell you how long does it take, and that becomes a more predictive form. So I can also take alternative routes if I have that information. So Google always tells you that, hey, if you go this way, I can take 15 minutes, and if I take the other route, I'm going to reach there in 5 minutes. So you have a choice that's coming from the data. That's when the data utility has really been beneficial to you, right? It doesn't make sense if I tell you that take this road and it takes 30 minutes. But when you have a comparison, or when you have a data utility which tells you that you can save time or effort, or reach somewhere quickly and then save more money or more effort, that is when it's really beneficial. So we're looking at the predictability that it brings into a decision making that makes the work really interesting and also more preventive. And we're looking at technology in driving today, and we're talking about self-driving cars. They're already in the market, and they're getting increasingly popular, right? So more and more cars are adopting these technologies, and you can see Tesla or Waymo coming up with amazing models that are really very powerful. It can learn on its own. You don't need to teach a Tesla's AI system how to stop in front of a signal. It looks at other people. It looks at what humans are doing and learns on its own. So that's how they are learning today. So the machines are just like children. They look at what others are doing, and then they do what they're supposed to do. So what's happening in the laboratory space? I mean, are we still looking at the culture? Are we looking at the organism and saying that, hey, this is Salmonella, this is E. coli, this is Shigella, and Salmonella caused this outbreak? Or, in most cases, you will see no news items like Salmonella enteritidis cause infection, and this could possibly link to eggs. But we also need to look at where that is expanding today, and whole genome sequencing has changed the game completely. So we're not looking at an organism by its name anymore. And we saw that in COVID-19, right? So we don't use the word COVID-19 to generically say what the organism is. We precisely say what is the genotype that we're looking at. And we had precisely marked every organism differently from the other based on where they were identified, so that we could trace back to the origin of that particular cluster or plastic outbreak. So in foodborne disease, this is exactly the same thing that we're doing. Just like how we did our tracebacks in COVID, we can also do traceback in every organism that we're dealing with today, whether it's Salmonella, Listeria. We're able to see where these clusters are coming from. And they're very different from the technologies that we used in the past, like PFGE. So there's a big change in how we are tracking diseases. I can see that many of you are biotechnologists, and you could probably read up on what the Centers for Disease Control is doing through their PulseNet program. So if you look at PulseNet, PULSENET, and you can see that they've moved from PFGE to WGS today. And this is mainly to improve the resolution you have for the problems and precisely identify not just the bacteria, but also the association between the bacteria and the food. So if an outbreak happens in North America, they can actually trace back that product to any country of origin. So based on what we call as a source attribution. So they know that a particular fingerprint of bacteria is associated with a particular fingerprint of food. And if that association can be established, you could always go back to the library and say, whenever you find this bacteria in a person, you can say that it's very likely to be from that food that's coming from this country of origin. And then you can then look up at more data and see whether there is a correlation, right? So we're getting increasingly increasingly competitive in this. And in companies like Nestle, they have a whole library of organisms that have developed, that they've created, where whenever they pick up an organism, they fingerprint it, and then they tell exactly where that was identified from, including the factory floor. So if they take Listeria monocytogenes, they can precisely tell you in which factory, on which wall that organism was identified. And then if they trace it back to a product later, they can exactly tell you that this product with this Listeria came in from a wall of this factory in one country. Like, when you have multi-country operations, it's really, really crucial. And also to find out what's the root cause. If you identify the organism, you can also pinpoint why that is coming. Is it resistant to antimicrobials or antibiotics that are being used? Is it resistant to the chemicals which are used for disinfection? Is it resistant to heat? Is it resistant to is it bypassing the system with biofilms and so on, right? So understanding organisms have changed completely, and we're also changing the way we are seeing data today. So because consumers are interacting, and I saw earlier that a lot of you linked Zomato with food poisoning, but then each of your customer interaction, not just from a customer, the food business also is interacting with systems today, and it's far more easier to reach people and tell them, hey, there is a problem with chicken, can you take it off the shelf, right? So imagine if Zomato is connected with all the restaurants. You can also use Zomato to educate them on food safety. And if you have a problem with the food where a contamination is noticed, say someone found a chemical toxin in rice, a particular brand of rice, you could inform all the people through Zomato that a particular brand of rice has been identified with pesticides. Don't use it for cooking. And if the consumers are connected, we can also let the consumers know. You pick it up from social media today, but you could also have customized messages coming to you to avoid a particular product on Amazon or on Zomato, right? So looking at these numbers, that's where we are getting. We can see that these numbers have really not gone down. We are still seeing a steady increase in number of foodborne diseases, and we can bring it down only by leveraging data. And we have to use data for processing. We have to use data for verification programs. We need to use data for testing. We need to identify organisms. We need to identify pesticides. We need to identify the micromolecules. There are a lot of new toxins being discovered. We're talking about microplastic. We are talking about forever chemicals. And we need to have that kind of resolution to say and pinpoint a product, a particular toxin to a particular source, and make sure that the source is prevented or a source is protected from getting into the food cycle, right? So there's a whole lot of revolution going on. And above all, we also need to use the consumer data. We need to see what people are eating, right? What if there is a contaminant, how much are they exposed to? And if you look at risk assessment, we want to know what people are eating, what are their primary consumption, and then if there is a chemical exposure that's very high in a particular food, we can then narrow down to a particular population. For instance, imagine two countries, two states in India. One is Uttar Pradesh, and another one is Tamil Nadu. It's very easy for us to predict that a certain variety of rice would be much more consumed in Tamil Nadu than in Uttar Pradesh. But if you're all living in a city with a mixed population, it's very difficult to pinpoint who's eating what. But in an app that is used for ordering food, you can precisely say that hey, this consumer is ordering the white rice, and the other consumer is ordering brown rice or wheat. And if you have a problem with white rice, you can precisely reach the consumer and tell them, take this food off your shelf, don't use it because it could be hazardous. So we call all these things in technologies horizon scanning, looking at what's going on in social media, picking up what people are talking about. To give an example, what does it mean to you if we see that a lot of people are consuming antibiotics in a community? It would mean that doctors are prescribing antibiotics. Then the question is, why are they prescribing antibiotics? You might say that, hey, suddenly there is an infection that's going on in the community. That's the reason why you are prescribing antibiotics. But then you look at the diagnostic laboratories and say, they're all testing for a salmonella or a bacterial infection. So you could then correlate the antibiotics with the salmonella infection and say, in a community where antibiotic prescriptions have substantially gone up suddenly, and also where salmonella testing is being conducted more, it's very likely that there is a salmonella infection. On the other hand, we can also see that a lot of the customers are complaining about food poisoning after eating egg products or shawarma or anything, a grilled chicken or fried rice or whatever the product of concern is in a particular community. In the social media, in X or in TikTok, a lot of people are complaining about this, or in Google reviews. We can see suddenly a trend of what's going on and then use that to find out what is going on. So we call these technologies as web scraping, and then we use AI scanning tools and risk prioritization. If a particular population is talking about a particular problem, then we use AI tools to find out what that problem is, and then use that data for our risk assessment. And then we say, all right, it's very likely that there is a problem here with salmonella coming from a product that we are concerned about from this country, and then precisely target that country or the manufacturer to do so. So the last 5 minutes of my presentation, I want to spend some time on what's going on in the educational domain today. If you look at the traditional jobs that food safety was all about for several years, that's in this process center job where everybody knew what a production facilities. They took the job of a quality assurance manager, a quality controller, or a laboratory specialist, and so on. So this is the bulk of the job that people are doing in the industry. But then you go to the next scale where you see a lesser number of people who are into consultation, education, training, where you need skills of interaction, skills of communication, where people have to be trained, or you have to work with a business group to make sure that you tell the right thing and you market the product. So you have a process-oriented, knowledge-based program, and then you got an education-based approach where you need a certain skill to educate or consult for a business. Then we got the investigative jobs, which are centered around auditing and inspections, where traditionally you need the skills to pick up problems, and you don't need to solve them. You need to at least know what's going on. You need to know how to ask questions. You need to listen to people. You need to know, you need to be able to correlate the problems that you see, the data that you derive to potential root causes, and say, hey, this problem is coming mainly because you're not trained to do so, and I'm seeing that this company lacks a good training program. Or you can say that you have a problem with a product failure because you're not testing your raw materials and your raw material supplier is very bad. So you have to look at investigative work, and also you could look at inspection work where you study the law, you study the rules, and then work for the government as an inspector. So this is a still narrower job where less people are there. But the most interesting part is in the last bit that I want to talk about, and this is the creative work. And in creative work, you need to be able to develop systems. And I was talking about AI, I was talking about machine learning models, generative AI, training, education, etc. Today, all of them are moving towards digital tools. We are talking about mobile devices. We're talking about data. We are talking about robotics, traceability tools, blockchain, etc. And all these things are interestingly in the creative space, where you need to use your process information, You need to use your education. You need to use your investigative skills. You need to get your communication skills all together and then build it over your creativity and then find new jobs. And there are very interesting jobs out there, epidemiology, like how we were doing in COVID, tracing back a product, tracing back an outbreak, a cluster to a particular country, saying that, this particular strain came from South Africa. How do we know this? And that comes from epidemiology. And epidemiology is heavily linked to the testing protocols that you have, to whole genome sequencing, identifying the organism, and also identifying the link between the organism and the food. Then we look at AI in the industry. You need to look at generative AI. How can I train consumers to do the right thing? How can I train the food industry to do the right thing? How can I make the law more accessible to people? If you look at Notebook LM, that's a new tool from Google, you can put any legislation in there and convert that into 50 languages. You can create a completely free training audio or a training note in 50 languages from your regulation. Imagine how we can train our food businesses in any language that you want if you have the laws. The law will be interpreted into simple language, and the training model can do that in just 5 minutes. So that's changing heavily. Then we're looking at AI in food industry, in data analysis, in also tech in building systems. Like I was talking about all these things. So who builds these things? So a food safety expertise and a knowledge base is required to build all these things. We're talking about robotics. We're talking about RFID technology, which is used for tracing and tracking. And all these things are shifting towards that creative space. And that's where we feel that the number of people who are taking these jobs are very, very less, because many of you are not even familiar that these jobs exist in the market. And you do all these things because you want to prepare for the risk that you're not aware of. And as I explained in the case of Google Maps, it's preparing you for the journey that you're going to do, not the journey that you did in the past, right? But it takes the information from the past, from somebody else's data, and tells you that if you take that route just like the other guy did, you're not going to make it, right? So that is how the systems would work. So you take the data from the past, and then you work with your logic, and then you predict your future. And if you want to face the challenges in the future, you need to be able to use data, and you need to use data to make decisions and forecast problems. You should be able to say that there is climate change, the temperature of the production areas are increasing, which means that your crop will be harvested in a rainy season. If you harvest the crop during rainy season, then you're likely to have more moisture in the food. If there is more moisture in the food, fungal attack or fungal infections are likely to be higher. If fungal infection is likely to be higher, mycotoxins are likely to be higher. If mycotoxins are likely to be higher, then aflatoxin, one of the mycotoxins, is going to be in your food. So if peanuts have more aflatoxins, then it is going to affect people with liver problems, especially hepatitis A. And in countries where liver problems are higher, you're likely to see more problems with liver, especially cancer and other diseases, because of mycotoxin, all because of climate change. So you know climate change is a big predictor. So if you are producing products in a country where climate is warmer, you're likely to have mycotoxin risk. And shifting a country might solve the problem completely if that product is can be produced much more safely. So that's the kind of predictions that we're looking at. The future foresight, forecasting, etc., are big terms that we see today. And I don't want to bore you with so much. And I know it's a lot of information to take, but I will always be happy to help you out. Reach out to me if you need further information. And if you have time, I'll just open the floor for questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was indeed a masterclass in food safety. Now it's time to ask your queries. Participants, either post your questions in the chat box or please turn on your microphones to ask your questions. I also have a question, sir. I hold a BSc in Food Science and Nutrition, and I'm currently in the UAE seeking for a job. So could you please tell us which entry-level positions or industries in food safety sector are most accessible for someone with my qualifications?
So, there are two ways you can look for a job. One is that you look for a job where you're interested to build your career on, or you pick up the job that you get first and then build your career on that, right? So these are the two different ways that you can look at. So first thing is to write your interest and see what did you work on, like where is your core expertise. So if your expertise is in inspection, then you're likely to be hired by somebody who wants an inspector, right? If your core expertise is in laboratory, then you're likely to go to that side. It's very hard for me to predict that, but I can tell you that there is a general demand for good people everywhere, and it doesn't matter where you are. I showed you slides of so many fields getting interconnected, right? So there's no domain that can be left. You can be a very good coder and pick up a job in food safety. You can be a very good UI designer who designs the web portal for consumers and be in food safety. You can be a good trainer. You can be a good auditor. You can be a good storyteller and still find a job. But skills really matter. So if you have built on skills, that's one. Second thing is that if you're looking for a job, always seek mentorship. You need to look up at people in LinkedIn, especially find out who are the people that are interesting to you, see what they're doing, and follow what they're doing. Don't ask them for a job straight away, but build your career towards, hey, let me try and do what that person is doing. Learn what that person is posting, and what are the information that are coming from that person of interest to you or in a group, and then seek that, and then you're a part of that ecosystem, right? Then you're better at that job. Just like anything, I would say this is a skill-based demand, and you need to hone your skills and work towards your strengths.
Thank you, sir. If there are any more queries, you may please ask.
I do have a question. Like, you are from the core industry and you have given a lot of inputs as to how the industry works. And as academicians, we have very limited space to train the children in tune with the industry, and industry is dynamic every day, 100%, and education is slowly becoming dynamic. Otherwise education is static. So like a student, Sania is a wonderful speaker and an aspirant. So I thank Sania also for having been with us. And questions from children like Sania as to how they have to aspire. Please tell us, when we train a child for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years time, what exactly we have to sandwich along with the curriculum as to help them to be industry ready, especially in food safety. That's my request and my question to Bobby.
Okay, Mr. Anirudhan, I represent a regulator, so I'm mostly into the food safety policy law development, but I spend a lot of time with industry for sure, looking at technology, and I always believe that the government shapes the path for the industry, right? So it's our demand that creates the demand in the industry, and if you say that industry has to go in certain direction, everybody follows, right? But as a government, you set the direction, and from what I can see from the industry, as I mentioned to Sania earlier, there is a general demand for skills. And most students we hiring come with knowledge, but they don't know the applications of it. Where does it apply to me?
Yes.
And this is where I'm trying to break that. And that's why I try to keep my presentation today with diverse things that you normally not pick up, like you don't see those and you don't connect with. And when I did that survey in the beginning, I asked a series of connectors, and end of the presentation, you can see that every dot in that is connected. You're connected with Notebook LM or ChatGPT or Power BI. All these are skills that are required by students. So what I would recommend is that it is important for you to know what processes, but also how to generate data. But you also need to know how to make meaningful decisions out of data. So statistics is really important. Understanding, how to figure out a trend is really, really important. And we see this weakness in many people who are coming for job. They're not able to understand numbers and derive meaning out of it. So that's an important skill. So generally, if you look at any industry today, they are all looking for data skills. Second thing that industry is looking at is ability to work with teams. And your school projects are really amazing. Like, most of us work in alone very, very efficiently. But the moment you're put with 5 people, you're not able to convert that skill into a better form. What you need to learn is how can I convert my knowledge and multiply by 5, or multiply, in fact, 5 could be 50. And how do I translate my work into a much larger form by working with others? And here the technology is just a mediator. It is not going to do the job for you, but it's going to help you. So how do you connect with individuals? How do you work? There is definitely people who like to work alone. They have their own space, but a large set of the industry wants you to work very, very efficiently with others. The third important thing is that industry wants ready people. They don't have the time to invest in you anymore. They don't have the time to say that, hey, take your 3 months, I will put you on probation where I will be training you to learn. That doesn't happen anymore. People are expected to know what they're doing. And when they come to job, businesses are hiring with an assumption that you know what you're doing. So a lot of this have to come from your post-college skills, or from your work experience, or I think internship is the right word. So if you take the right internship, you can really do well. And I want to go back and emphasize on the mentorship part. If you are looking at a specific industry or a specific stream of work, you need to have mentors in that, and you need to identify people who are leading in that, engage with them, participate in meetings, participate in events, and you can connect with many people online. I mean, the simple thing is YouTube. Watch the person who you would like to follow. Don't look at the 5-minute messages of, I'm not talking about reels where you just go quickly. You need to spend time on podcast. You need to spend time on YouTube videos where a person is talking about in length about a certain thing. You can use a lot of these learning platforms across the world to educate yourself. Be in those meetings, and I heard that you're organizing a series of webinars. Once you finish the webinar, connect with the person and learn about what they're doing before you go to the job. And that network really helps you. And a mentorship will kind of help you to improve your confidence also, because you always get a reassurance from somebody tells you that, hey, here's the right way to do things, and they guide you. So post education, you still have I still are connected with my teachers from my college. I still meet them from school, from college, every time. At least once in a year, we have an engagement program somewhere, and then we still learn from those professors, and they learn from us. So it's always mutual, and that kind of network is necessary in every level, and that kind of leads you front. And most important, I would say, is understanding the other cultures. So you will be working in multinational companies or people from different cultures. Even within India, you will be working with people from different cultures in any city today, or any village today in a manufacturing setup. So accommodating, learning how to communicate with others, understanding their culture, where do they come from, especially with dealing with employees who are working for you or working under you, really, really is important. So even understanding how the psychology, the behavioral aspects work is really important for students. So there's nothing that I can leave unturned. Every skill is important, but the most important thing is look up at somebody and then try and imitate, and then understand and keep building your career. So keep a good profile, and that every industry is going to look at your profile, how you write things, how you post things, and how creative you are before they hire you. And I hope I answered the question. If I know whether I missed something.
Yeah, you have given a wonderful answer. And before somebody else asks another question, one request, would you be able to at least appear for us once in 3 months, spare an hour to mentor our children online? Just 1 hour in 3 months' time. We would love to have you for our children.
Super. And I'm more than happy to help. I would also, be happy to introduce other members who would be keen. We organize a conference every year in November. We have the Dubai International Food Safety Conference. I also welcome students to submit abstracts. We've got abstract submission right now on. We also sometimes fund students who are doing, creative programs. Join us on our online sessions. We also do free online sessions for students all the time. So it's always good to have students engage. If we are in Dubai, reach out to us. I heard Sanya is around, so reach out to us. We always have some program or the other running for students. So happy to help you. I've also put my LinkedIn profile. You can always reach out on LinkedIn.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Shani, I would love to hear from students if there are any questions. They can always, if you're shy, put it on the chat window. I just want to know something that they learned, or did I miss any of those title lines? I don't know whether I answered. So there's only one blank thing that I saw was Power BI. Power BI is a data visualization tool that's for Microsoft to see how inspections are. So we use it for looking at data and making decisions. Power BI is a Microsoft tool. I saw that was a blank thing that no one had marked.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. I'm Dr. Swarnalita from Nehru Arts and Science College, sir. We are teaching food science and nutrition. So I have a question that is, they are completing degree, post-graduation or undergraduation. So when they go into food industries, is there any mandate requirement for additional certification in certain aspects? Like we are giving some certificate courses on HACCP and then food safety programs, food safety assurance, quality assurance, all those things. Is it really recognized by the food industries for giving job to the students?
See, many of these certificates can be achieved in 2 or 3 days in the once you join the job. So certificate by itself is not valuable because there's also an assumption that certificate is independent of your skills. So a skill with certificate is valuable, but a certificate without skill is not really valuable, And depending on the company, they might have different values. Like some companies would value your communication, some would value your laboratory skills, etc. So a lot depends on what you're looking at, right? But generally, good companies do not look at your certificate, but they would want you to perform well in the interviews. They would want you to answer questions, especially practical ones. And they would also want you to be data sound. They would demand that you are current with the regulations, you're current with technology, what's going on around you, etc. So they are highly valued compared to the certification. Certification is useful also when you are, so if you are taking a certification, always make sure that you work with the industry group so that you also learn from your trainees from each other. So that way you also increase the skill. But in cases where students are going only as a group of students, they're likely to just talk to each other about what they know rather than get information from outside, right? So anything which has a crossover of industry with or industry or work experience with certification really helps. So it's a good start, but not the only one.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I have another question. So in curriculum, we have all the basic courses like food processing technology, all those things. So in your experience, can you suggest any other concepts we need to include in our curriculum to make the students work ready?
So some of the topics that I mentioned earlier about whole genome sequencing and its application, epidemiology is a missing component everywhere. If you look at the entire scenario of COVID pandemic, we would see that there were no epidemiologists talking about that in India. So that was a big gap. Epidemiologist looks at how does the disease spread? Where is it coming from? How is moving from population? So you look at epidemiology, that's missing. The larger public health umbrella is missing. So I think connecting public health, epidemiology, how do you do studies, epidemiological studies like cohort, case control, etc., are really important. And the lack of it is very visible in India. Like you always hear people saying, "Oh, we have an increase in cancer because of bad food." But then if you ask them what cancer it is that you're worried about, no one has an answer. Everybody would say, we have generally cancer increase, right? So an epidemiologist would tell you that a specific exposure, a specific product profile, or a specific population or an age group has a specific cancer, like a liver cancer linked to mycotoxin coming from peanuts that are contaminated with aflatoxin, is a very precise answer. That's what epidemiologists do, and that's missing. When you have salmonella infection, we don't normally say shawarma caused salmonella infection. We say that the egg that came, the egg product that was used on the shawarma was contaminated, and that egg came from a specific district in India where salmonella is very high in the farms, And that farm has to put vaccination controls in place so that we don't have the problem with the shawarma. That's the traceability that we're looking at. That's a public health epidemiologist job, and that's missing. We are also looking at inspection skills and auditing skills. Like, how do you cove or shape your ability to find problems and address them? So auditing skills could be a short program, but very useful. Behavioral science and behavioral psychology is heavy on food safety and all these domains today. That's one area that I would say you could also look at other departments that are in the college and say cross functional teams can be made. So children should be able to take, students should be able to take additional modules somewhere there, which can be connected with your topics. If you take the topic food safety culture, it's all about behavioral psychology. Another thing is data science is a very, very fundamental part of our learning. And I think data science must be something that students are exposed to. And I see a lot of people talking about AI, but don't go directly to AI. Get into data, analyzing and interpreting data, and build that over the statistical principles that right? How do you pick up a bias? How do you pick up a noise? How do you interpret data with meaningful, or how do you summarize, etc., is something that you need to look at. So basically, epidemiology also connects with data. So all of them are interlinked. And other things are like, basic things that you're doing for whole genome sequencing, etc. I think it's important to tell them, why am I doing the whole genome sequencing? Why should I get the genome of a bacteria? To do what? I mean, to produce vaccines or to produce medicines or antibiotics, or to make sure that I can identify the source of that bacteria and fix the problem. So that kind of an application understanding has to come from connecting these fields that I was talking about. So I think that's an area that you must really prioritize as we go.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
So
afternoon.
this is Dr. Saranya, heading the Department of Biotechnology, sir. So I want to ask about the industry-academia partnership and how it is impact for food technology, sir. And if at all the students is doing about the library of an organism or microbial fingerprinting, where you have already noted for biotechnology students, and how can the students take a part as in project work, and how it will be successful for the specific persons to be taken for their future. Can you suggest me some topics like that, sir?
So for getting into the biological aspects where fingerprinting is generally used, India is still, like in the infant stages when it comes to foodborne diseases as such. But in virology, we are doing a lot of work, right? Post-COVID, we've seen a lot of changes. We've got the Virology Institute, Rajiv Gandhi Institute in Trivandrum, for instance, where I'm from, has a lot of work going on in biotechnology areas and epidemiology. So I think those are areas where the government or the government's funded laboratories are seeing a lot of changes. But in the industry per se, companies like Nestle are using it, but very, very less in the Indian scenario. So I think a lot of these businesses have not really got on to rapid testing as well. So they've not really understood the epidemiological pathway of how diseases are coming and spreading, And that also goes back to the government. In fact, I was at the government program, like the FSSAI's regulatory summit last year. And I was just telling them that you need to drill down to the data source and see why, instead of looking at how many samples of milk is failing, you need to look at where is that E. coli coming from, fingerprint all the E. coli and see, is there a commonality between all the E. coli that we are picking up, and see whether that is coming from a single source. It could be a specific breed of cows or a buffalo or a specific processing problem. So that's not really come into India. I would recommend that students read what's going on around the world and get familiar with those topics. Follow I put the CDC's link on this PulseNet link, where bulk of the information coming in comes from. FDA has got a lot of programs. So if you can take up online programs, would be easier, but practical applications in India is still very, very early. So that's the future part of the talk that I was talking about, right? So in India, we still need to get there. But understanding and at least knowing that these opportunities exist is very important. You might want to talk to students who left India for these countries like US, and see whether they can help with collaboration. That's again going back to mentorship. Identify mentors who can communicate, and see whether there is any collaborative effort that's working. And I'm just thinking, water is an area where there is a lot of testing going on. And maybe I'm not very specific. I don't have specific information on the industry in India, but I think yeah, it's still a very, very early stage.
Thank you, sir. So how AI models of the blockchains will be useful for the collaboration for the project works? And what are the topics I can include as a tool in the academic institution in our syllabus, sir?
So blockchain as a technology is mainly a concept node, so you need to know how it works. But as a direct application of a biotechnology tool, what you need to do is to see where does it apply. So here's an example. If I insert a DNA, this was an experiment that was done on apples in the US. So what they did is that you have these apples coming in the package with a sticker, right? So when you look at the sticker, you know that anybody can put a sticker and tell you that this is a particular brand of apple. So the Apple companies had a problem because a lot of these counterfeit apples were coming in with the company name on top. Like Washington apples were all over the place. Anybody can bring a sticker and put it as Washington apples. So the Apple companies found a way. What they did is that they inserted a sequence of DNA on the apple while they were being packaged. So after the washing process, just before waxing, they introduced a DNA label on the apple, and wherever the apples are getting picked up around the world, they could trace back that product to the DNA on the apple itself, and they can say that this is my product. And if that DNA label is not there, they're going to say that this is not my product. So they had to have a technology to identify the DNA. So you need to have your lock and key, but that way, without depending on the stickers, they were able to trace the products up and make sure that their supply chain is not contaminated. The same was done on eggs. In eggs, they put not a DNA marker. What they did is they put a halo marker, which consumers cannot see, but under a specific reading light, they can see the tracer, and they can say that this chicken, this egg came from a particular farm. And one of the experiments that Walmart did is that it looked at how many eggs are being produced in the farms, and some farms were claiming that we were producing 10 million eggs in a year, and it was far beyond their capacity because they had much less chicken than the eggs that they were producing, right? So then they went in for a trace back, and they found out that a lot of these eggs are not coming from that farm. They are just buying from others and selling it as theirs. So counterfeit and identifying whether there is fraud in the market is really, really important, and this can help. Another example is someone is selling you cow's milk or buffalo milk, and then mixing it and then saying that this is A1 milk or A2 milk. I don't know, there are so many things in the market today, but DNA technology can really help you in tracing back those products, provided you have a way to trace. If it's heavily processed, it might be difficult, but if it's raw, you could have a lot of these traceability. We're also seeing DNA fingerprinting, similar technologies in chemicals also. You put a chemical tag on a product and you can trace them back. So they're all linked to biotechnology heavily. So you look at bioinformatics and biotechnology, they play a big role in these traceability solutions, and they are the back end of the system. And it could be applied to clothes, it could be applied to anything that could have a life on it.
Thank you, sir.
Students are quiet. I mean, I'm just worried that did you understand or did you not understand?
Students, if there are any more queries, you may ask now.
I'm just going to republish the survey to see if the numbers are increasing. So if you could just use the link one more time to let me know what you think. Let me see, there is a number increase. Just to know that students are there. So if you could just click on the link again and tell me how you feel. So are there any more terms that you're getting familiar with after the presentation? Are you able to connect food safety with other things that you didn't initially connect in the beginning? So if there is a topic that you would want to hear from me next, what would be that topic? Just put in the chat window. if you want to listen to me, I think metaverse is one thing which I didn't talk about. So metaverse is used for trainings today. So we are creating inspection models for metaverse where the inspector and team leaders and the industry can interact on the metaverse without having to be physically present. I can do an inspection. I can create a whole symbolized of kitchen and train people. So imagine you doing that in your laboratory. You can do a full laboratory function without being in the laboratory digitally. So it's very useful for training. So you don't have to go into a premise and then train. You actually use the virtual world to do the training. So we are now using metaverse to train our inspectors and also getting to the industry to train food handlers on how to handle food safety without cross-contamination risk. Okay, so there is some response. I'm happy to see that. I'll also post my LinkedIn handle so you can just reach out to me if you need anything. Okay, so it looks like a quiet room. Thank you so much, Dr. Anirudhan and the team. Thank you, Shehin, for inviting me. It was a great honor and privilege to talk to students. My wife is from Palakkad, so it's not very far from Coimbatore. Hopefully, the next trip to Palakkad, I'll try and make a visit to you guys, see whether we can catch up for sure, and maybe connect with you in person.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful session. At this moment, we take pride in honoring our guests and dignitaries who made this event so memorable. I now invite Dr. V. Vijay Kumar, Principal of Nehru Arts and Science College, Coimbatore, for the felicitation. Sir, please.
Very good afternoon, esteemed guests and our esteemed alumni, Mr. Shehin Ibrahim, founder and managing director, FutureX School of Life Sciences, Dubai. I express my heartfelt thanks for organizing this wonderful international webinar for the benefit of the student community in association with the Nehru Arts and Science College. I express my heartfelt thanks Mr. Bobby Khanna, the keynote speaker of the day, Senior Food Safety Specialist, Dubai Municipality. Sir clearly explained how the technology behind this food processing industry, the food safety, food processing, and food security, and how the food delivery effectively with the various technologies. So today the students learned about the lot of technologies behind the food processing industries. So I express my heartfelt thanks for delivering a wonderful session for the students community. And also I express my heartfelt thanks for a special guest, Dr. Shani Janardhanan, Principal Kumaraguru School of Business, Coimbatore, for her wonderful initiatives speech for the students. And our guest of honor, Dr. B. Anirudhan sir, giving a wonderful introduction about our elite alumni, how our alumni associated with our institution and the growth of our institution. Once again, I express thanks to the Shehin Ibrahim for associating with us. The Nehru Arts and Science College takes very immense pleasure to join this or associating with the international webinar soft launch and the inauguration of this webinar. We are witnessed during and after the pandemic, the life sciences has been the major role in the human life and the country growth. We have witnessed a lot of revolutionary advances in biotechnology and food sciences. Even though a lot of advanced technology behind this life sciences, we are facing a lot of challenges in the life science fields like genetic disorders, food security challenges, and antibiotic resistance even the climate changes, all of the challenges for the current student research. So these challenges reminding the students how we need to prepare, and it makes us how to give the critical education and research and innovation to the students. So the current education not confined with the lecture hall. So it should increase the technology, integration of the technology, which will shift towards the experiential and the personalized learning approaches. Aims to enhance the students' engagement and understanding of the biological concepts. Sir clearly explained a lot of technologies behind the food processing. So only through the lot of technologies you achieve this or understand the concept very clearly. So we can use the virtual labs and the augmented reality, virtual reality, and the artificial intelligence to create a more immersive and interactive learning experience among the learners. So the aim of this technology integration with education, which will develop the students' critical thinking and allowing them to analyze the complex data and develop the innovative solutions to the various scientific problems. This webinar launch that we have today is the beginning of the educational transformation, which blends digital innovation, online learning, industry, academic collaboration, research integrated pedagogy. All this integration or the digital transformation, which encourage the learners or the students to ask, explore, and solve the complex problems, and enables the learners to nurture the next level of solutions. The aim of this webinar, in association with this FutureX solution, we equip the learners, students, with future-ready skills, with the spirit of interdisciplinary learning, not only in the domain specific, they need to associate with the technology in all domains. On this special occasion, I take this opportunity to congratulate our alumni, Mr. Shehin Ibrahim, the founder of FutureX School of Life Sciences, for associating with the international webinar series. Second, your vision is commendable. May this initiative grow into a global benchmark in the life science education. Once again, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the head of the Department of Food and Science Nutrition, Dr. A. Sonalata of Nehru Arts and Science College, and the head of the Department of Biotechnology, Dr. N. Saranya, Nehru Arts and Science College, and the moderator of our student, and the team behind this initiative. My best wishes to all. Let us move forward together in the forthcoming international webinar series. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir. As we draw the curtain on this inaugural session, it's time to express our heartfelt gratitude. I invite Dr. N. Sharanya, Head Department of Biotechnology, to propose the vote of thanks. Ma'am, please.
The future belongs to those who believe in beauty of their dreams. A very good afternoon to one and all gathered here. It's great honor and privilege to me to deliver the vote of thanks on this significant occasion, the soft launch and webinar inauguration of a joint initiative with FutureX Global Learning, UAE, under the theme Unleashing a New Era in Life Science Education. First and foremost, I like to express my sincere gratitude to our management, our respected CEO and Secretary, Sir, Dr. P. Krishna Kumar, Sir, for providing us this wonderful opportunity to be the part of such a visionary collaboration. Though he could not join us today, his unwavering leadership and forwarding think towards the vision continue to inspire and empower all our academic pursuits. I extend my thanks to our principal, Dr. B. Anirudhan, for delivering his inauguration address and his constant guidance and support in shaping the meaningful academic global partnership. Sir, your leadership has been instrumental in steering our institution towards innovation and global relevance, sir. Thank you so much, sir. My sincere thanks to Dr. N. Shani ma'am, Principal, Kumaraguru School of Business, who graced us a great guest of honor. Thank you, ma'am, for an insightful address and for highlighting the importance of interdisciplinary collaboration and entrepreneurship in today's academic and industrial landscape. Thank you, ma'am. A special word of appreciation goes to Mr. Shehin Ibrahim, the founder and managing director of FutureX Global Learning. As a proud alumnus of Nehru Arts and Science College, your journey from our institution to establishing a global education platform is truly inspiring. We are deeply honored to have you lead this collaboration, and thank you for being with us and bringing back the vision to our college. Thank you, Shehin. I extend my heartfelt appreciation to the keynote speaker, Mr. Bobby Krishna, Senior Food Safety Specialist at Dubai Municipality. Sir, your thought-provoking session on this integration of artificial intelligence, robotics, and data analytics in food technology have opened a new dimension of our students and faculty as well. Your reference in cutting-edge technologies like OpenAI, ChatGPT, and IBM blockchains for traceability and transparency across the food chain. And moreover, you have also established a keynote on library of an organisms by using fingerprinting and identification techniques to trace the foodborne pathogens. So we are greatly thankful to your vision which you have shared to empower our students and academic community for smarter and safer and more sustainable future, sir. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank Dr. V. Vijay Kumar, sir, Principal of Nehru Arts and Science College, for his kind felicitation and continued encouragement. Thank you, sir. A warm, heartfelt thanks to Dr. A. Swarnalata, Head Department of Food Science and Nutrition, for her gracious welcome address and for coordinating this event, a great successful one. Thank you, ma'am. A special thanks to Ms. Sania, student of Food Science and Nutrition, Nehru Arts and Science College, who served as a moderator and MC throughout the webinar. Thank you, Sania, for your confidence, clarity, and for professionalism to make the event more successful. Thank you so much for your wonderful contribution. I also thank the organizing team, the technical support staffs and student volunteers, and all my fellow faculty members whose teamwork ensured a streamline of the successful event. My thanks to all the participants, well-wishers, academic fraternity, and who joined us today. Thank you all so much for innovation, excellence, and global collaboration in life science education. Thank you all once again. Wish you a continued success and impact.
Thank you, ma'am, for your graceful words of appreciation. With this, we conclude the inaugural session. We extend our sincere thanks to all our dignitaries, speakers, and participants for gracing this occasion. Let us now look forward to the upcoming sessions filled with learning, collaboration, and innovation. Thank you all and have a wonderful day ahead.